Singapore is the most expensive city in the world, ranked right at the top by The Economist and Mercer survey. But as someone who has been to all the 193 UN countries in the world, I have to tell you something badly, something that you won't believe. Singapore is actually the cheapest city in the developed world. No joke. Now I know what you're thinking. No wonder your name is the Krazy Koala. Hey, I'm not just throwing out random things. I am a statistician by training. I compare fact to fact, apple to apple. So give me a little patience and hear me out. I just feel such a strong desire to make this video to challenge the stereotype out there. If you already love that I'm challenging the stereotypes, I welcome you to hit the like button and subscribe. Click the little notification bell next to the subscribe button so that you can get my interesting uploads. I've lived in some of the most expensive cities in the world throughout my life, including New York City where I went to school, San Francisco and Sydney where I worked, and Tokyo too. And I also traveled to every country in the world. So trust me, I know what expensive means when it comes to the living standards. Now hear me out. In this video, I'm only talking about Singapore in the context of the developed world. If I compare it to developing countries, then it would not be apple to apple. For example, Shanghai is a modern city, but China is still not classified as a developed country yet. And I'm not talking about small towns versus Singapore either. No point to compare Singapore to Midwest of the US or the middle of nowhere in Switzerland. You get what I mean? Anyway, some of you guys know I run a small travel services through my website, kksuccess.com/travel, where I help people to plan trips and even organize little travel hangout. Recently, I led a tour across Europe, especially spending a big chunk of my time in Scandinavia. I first visited Scandinavia a decade ago. Back then, there was only one word stamped into my memory. That word is expensive, especially in Norway. So this time I went back and explored more extensively. Holy cow! The prices are unbelievable. I'm talking things like simple fast food costing $30 a taxi ride from Stockholm airport to the city center costing almost $90 a tank of gas in a car, oh my gosh, $100 a tank in Norway for a small sedan, not even SUV. Not to mention hotel. I can only think of 3-star hotels like Moxie in Copenhagen for $300 a night. I didn't even have guts to book like 4-star hotel or 5-star hotel throughout my whole trip because that already drained your wallet faster than you can swipe your credit card. And that's when the thought hit me. Suddenly, Singapore doesn't look expensive at all. In fact, it starts looking like a discounted paradise in comparison. Let me show you something. I was in McDonald's in Norway. A burger costs $15 a la carte, not a meal set. In Singapore, namely the most expensive city in the world by many rankings, you can buy a premium burger for 7 Singapore dollars, which is $5.5. You can even get $2 to $3 for other burgers too. Norway food price is effectively 3 to 6 times higher than Singapore. So we use our phone every day. So let's talk about phone data price. 10 GB data phone plan costs $27 to $35 per month in Norway. You know what? I only pay $9, which is like 12 Singapore dollar for my 500 GB phone plan. That is 30% of the price for 50 times more values. On Sunday, the entire Oslo city is shut down and empty, so I went to eat in a fast Chinese food in downtown. Kind of like Panda Express in the US, so a fried noodle cost me $25 plus a drink, it costs over $30 easily, minimum. I may compare this to the hawker center in Singapore, though sometimes hawker center also make gourmet food. But for the same comparison, let me find the cheapest food to compare to the hawker center in Singapore. You can easily get a Hainanese chicken rice at 3.5 Singapore dollars, which is 2.6 USD. Such kind of fast food in Norway is effectively 10 times more expensive than Singapore. No joke. Now, many people may complain how expensive Singapore alcohol is. In Scandinavia, to my surprise, it's not cheaper. In a casual restaurant, not fine dining, it's about 12 Sing or 9 USD for a glass of red wine on average. as of the time I'm making this video. In Norway, it would cost you $15 for the same. In San Francisco, it is costing $20 now. No matter where you live, inflation is insane. Everywhere is so expensive. We all work hard to pay for our bills, or even our family members' bills. That financial stress is real. I tried a therapy to talk through my stresses through BetterHelp. I'm so grateful that they also pay partner for this video. My therapist helped me understand why I feel frustrated with my work. Because I overinvest 30 hours editing each video but getting very little return. He advised me how to approach my work more efficiently, like leveraging AI to cut down on my hours, and I already see initial results. So for this video so far, I cut down 2 hours and highly recommend you to try. Go to betterhelp.com/krazykoala with a K and get 10% off your first month therapy. I'll put a link down below too. As expensive as you may think, the alcohol in Singapore is still almost half of the price of Norway and less than half of the price of San Francisco. I went to a Michelin star restaurant in Copenhagen. A glass of red wine costs almost $40 each. In Singapore, you can pay 25 Singapore dollar or just about $19 for such place. Really, still half of the price of Denmark. Before I revisited Scandinavia this time, I thought maybe Singapore real estate is really expensive, but I went to check out the apartment in Sweden too. A 1,000 square feet apartment, a normal size 2-bedroom apartment, it costs $1.2 million in the city center of Stockholm. It's not cheaper than Singapore in anyhow. In Norway, it may be even more than Sweden. But because in Singapore, you can have different options for housing, the HDB housing, which you can get the same size of apartment for Singapore dollar 500k to 600k, which is about 380k to 460k USD. It's still 30% of the price of those in the biggest city of Scandinavia. I don't even want to mention San Francisco. So you know what I realized? Singapore is in fact very cheap. Taxi $90 in Stockholm from airport to the city versus $20 you pay from Singapore airport to the city. Almost 5 times. Oh, from Singapore airport to the city, you can also have a very cheap option. Just $2 a train can get you to the city center. That is 1.5 USD. In Oslo, I paid 12 USD for the train. That is 8 times more. So why do you still need car when the public transportation is so convenient? Not to mention living a luxury lifestyle like getting massage. In Singapore, you can pay 60 Singapore dollar an hour, which is 45 USD. But in a place like Switzerland, it would be 220 USD per hour. That is 4 to 5 times more. I knew about this price because I watched one video that was made by a Singapore YouTuber who was from Switzerland. She was comparing the price of massage between Singapore and Switzerland. And up to this point, I haven't even mentioned hiring a maid to clean your home, where you only spend 20 Singapore dollar an hour, that is $15, and you don't need to work your ass off after work. Tell me now, which big city of the developed countries can you hire a maid for $15 an hour? Let me know if you know of any. In conclusion, luxury lifestyle is almost impossible for a normal working class worker in any of the developed places, but you can achieve all of this in Singapore without being a super rich guy. Now you may also ask, so why do you rank Singapore as the most expensive city in the world? Well, firstly, they have a list of things that they evaluate, not everything, which is bias selection from statistical term standpoint. Secondly, in Singapore, you can go for cheap and expensive options like HDB versus private condo, hawker center versus restaurants. But when they compare to other countries, most of the countries out there don't really have such kind of options like public housing or private housing or government subsidized food, things like that. So it's very difficult to find the right comparison. And seriously, with such kind of luxury living quality, having a maid do your housework, getting a massage every week, it's really hard to find another city in the developed world that can offer what Singapore offers. So, do you still say Singapore is still expensive? If you do, I suggest you to pay a visit to Scandinavia, Switzerland, Iceland, San Francisco, or you can call me Krazy because I'm the Krazy Koala. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I just feel such a strong desire to make this video to challenge those stereotypes out there. I really believe that Singapore is such a great place to live. Of course, there are so many reasons behind this. It's the efficiency, how the country is running itself. Just Yeah, amazing place. For those who don't know, I also have 2 other YouTube channels. One is for my travel channel called Koala Travel Solo. The other is my music channel, Koala Keys, where I post my original music released on Spotify and Apple Music as well. So I hope you support all my channel, not just this channel. See you next time. Bye!